So Kibby's here to make fun of me for making my Raptor into an overland truck.
I had to make it.
So you had to come in and stunt with your like big bro dozer thing. Saturdays at the shop. So a lot of you guys on Twitch have been asking me about my truck and when I'll do some videos on it. But first, yes, I mentioned Twitch. So if you're not wasting enough time watching all of our videos on YouTube, now you can spend a couple hours every day, Monday through Friday, watching us on Twitch. So make sure to check that out. But just to overview the truck real quick before we get started, in case you guys don't know, oh my God, it's so bright. I picked up first gen Raptor. So this is a first gen, so it's a V8, not that EcoBoost stuff. Super cab, so it's a two-door, which a lot of people didn't actually understand why I got, but once I found out the rear window went down, it meant it was good for this dude. So I kind of just prefer the way they look. And it's a bit shorter. I live in Long Beach, so parking and stuff kind of sucks, so the four-door is like even more inconvenient. For the most part, I picked it up bone stock off a old dude with some handicap plates on it. I say bone stock, but the only thing he did to it was it has an Edelbrock E4 supercharger. So that's kind of dope, but don't be confused. It's still slow because it weighs 6,000 pounds. But right off the bat, I just wanted to do some wheels. The stock wheels were gross. So 1552 Tarmac HDs, BF Goodrich KO2s. These are 315 70 17s, which it's actually the stock size, and they're 35s. But this thing gets like 11 miles to the gallon, so I didn't want to go with 37s. I think the stock tire size works out pretty well. So goal for the truck is I want to build what I'm going to call like the ultimate tow and expedition vehicle. So something I could tow my cars to the track with, but then also take out, go on adventures, go do camping trips and all that jazz. So, which seems super trendy, but I'm going to try to make it look cool. So first thing we're going to do, I'm really pumped about this, is AC HiLites MRack, which is a really nice low profile rack that runs their Pro 6 light bar up front. But one feature I really like about this that I haven't seen elsewhere is it has lights flush mounted on the side, and then I'm gonna put one on the rear as well, because when I use this thing at the track a lot, it'll be super helpful to have a rear light for when you're loading up your car at night or really early in the morning, or you just have a problem and it's dark out and you could toss some lights on it. So super pumped about that. But first, before I get started on that, I'm gonna take a trip up north to Front Runner Outfitters, and they make some of the nicest like overland camp gear. So I'm gonna pick up a roof tent and a rack, but they don't have anything for the Raptor, so we're gonna have to go custom make something. All right, we just got the Front Runner. I'm gonna go pick up the bed rack and rooftop tent. And they have some pretty sick vehicles out here, like this International. I like this fake wood grain, it's pretty tight. So that's essentially what I'm gonna set up on the bed of my truck, except for not as high. So this is like the ultimate in truck rice, which is like overland gear, and where you could just over accessorize your truck with a bunch of crap that you'll probably never use, but all of it is really functional and super rad. I want to get some of these jerry cans, propane tank mount for barbecues. Definitely need a snowboard rack. These are really cool too. Champ already enjoying the outdoors, indoors. So yeah, one of the reasons why I really want to do all this is because it'll make going to the track really fun, because then you'll be able to have like your entire setup there and get there the night before and camp out rather than sleeping in some like sleazy hotel and then, or waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and driving all the way out there. So really stoked to grab some of this stuff. So this is James. He's getting the rack fitted up. He actually races land speed and has a really rad rear engine speedster, which maybe we'll check that out one day. But first up, all we gotta do is trim down the side rails a little bit to mount the channels that the bed rack will sit on. So we're just finishing up the rack. I really dig these hardware pieces that they have. Like the end cap that bolts on the rack to the base, but it actually has like built-in nuts on the back of it. So it's super clean and then just bolts in from back here. Really rad. So it just looks nice and clean when it's all done. Look what the dog dragged in.
I know, I didn't bring my dog either.
What's up, bud?
Come on.
What's up, champ? So Kibby's here to make fun of me for making my Raptor into an overland truck.
I had to make it.
So you had to come in and stunt with your like big bro dozer thing. Whose truck is this?
Don't worry about it.
Ah, just pick it up. Nice work, man. This thing looks sick. It's actually pretty big on the inside. Should be more than enough for the two of us and the dog. It's pretty tight on here. Well, that's it. Back to the shop. Go throw that roof rack on and finish this thing up. All right, so we have half of the overland crew over there working on the Discovery. And now I'm gonna get to putting the MRAC on. Just taped up the roof, and the install actually seems pretty simple, although I have to drill holes in the roof of my new truck, which is kind of scary, but pretty straightforward. It just comes with a riv nut kit, so we're gonna pop this up there, mark out the where the holes are, and then we'll drill some holes and mount this thing up. So I got the first side done, and I didn't want to do it on camera because I was afraid I'd make a complete ass out of myself or ruin my truck, which I'm not sure if I have or haven't yet because we don't know if these even line up. But that was a terrifying experience. So now that I've toughed it out, I'll give you a little tour on how to do this. So first off, I'm not gonna do the drilling part on here, but drill a pilot hole and then drill a hole big enough for this. In this particular case, it takes a Q-size drill bit, which is just slightly bigger than 5/16. It's like 8.3 millimeter. So you slip these in. And then I bought this really crappy riv nut tool, which is like a piece of metal that's bent. And then you use the M6 Allen key. Use this, and it goes through here with 2 washers. And then you slip it onto the riv nut. And then what you're gonna actually do is you're going to hold this back while tightening the nut, and it'll expand the riv nut. We are all set. This shit looks sick. So it's got the Pro 6 up front, small light bars on the side, you got 2 of them. Okay, so what's really cool is the Raptor comes with this switch panel. It's obviously not connected to anything. They just give it to you to have some options in the future. But what they did that was really rad is that there's actually cable ends here. So this way, some of them come from the switches, and the other are actually pass-throughs under the hood that come out right down here. And that's really sweet because you no longer need relays or fuses or anything. It just goes to the factory connectors, makes it super simple to get these things to work. Drove down to the beach over here because it's kind of foggy and rad out right now. Got the Pro 6 front light bar wired up. I didn't do the sides yet because the only way I was able to get the wire down was to actually come out from over here, which you can't see, so let me light this with my cell phone. So the only way I was able to do this right now is just run the wire down, and I double stick taped it down to the windshield, and then it goes under the hood. I don't really like that, and there was no way to run all the wiring for the side lights. So I think what I'm gonna do is find like a nice bulkhead connector to go through the roof. This way I can actually unplug the entire rack, so if I want to take it off, I can take it off with all the wiring, but it'll be a lot cleaner and watertight. So I'll revisit that next time because I really want to get the rear light bar hooked up because that will be super handy for when we're going on the track and loading up at night. For now, at least my front lights work, so I'm not a full poser. So mega unnecessary. But it looks pretty rad and it's so bright. Next up, gonna figure out wiring for the truck on the side lights, level out the front, and figure out some storage situation for the bed. Of course, KB has to show up and stun on me. Worst guy.